Well, hey, whoever is watching. This Thursday, July 10th. It is my sister's birthday, so I have an easy time remembering the day. I'm on a few minutes late because at like 6:27, I decided, oh, you know what? I should add a little extra part to this demo and teach you how to make rice on the stovetop. What's typically called rice pilaf. It's a pretty simple dish, but I don't know about you. I've always found it to be a bit of a tricky dish to learn. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and use this pot, even though we don't currently sell this pot. This is our old stainless. I have heard rumors that we are coming out with a new stainless line this fall. And in fact, I'll find all of that out next week at our national conference. This pan, look at this. It looks like new, and this pan is easily 20 years old. Now, if you want a good nonstick, the other option is this baby. And this is also an excellent cookware line. We do currently carry this. This is our Brilliance line, and I really love it. It's lighter weight, has a phenomenal nonstick coating. This pan is 3 years old. Okay, look at that. And we use this pan constantly. And these pans, um, these are the ones we grab the most, honestly, right now when we want to use nonstick. So they're fantastic. So we are going to um, we are going to grab my food chopper, which is the one thing I didn't have out yet when I realized that I'd been going live for who knows how long. And who is on? I don't know who's watching, but whoever you are, say hey. It's always good to see friends, and and I will respond to you when we are done for the evening. So this is actually a great excuse for me to talk about something that never in my 30 years goes on sale, but it's on sale this week, which is the food chopper. Friends, this came in my starter kit, not this one, but this one's easily 10, 15 years old. We updated it in the late 90s, and this was actually one of the very first products that kind of showed that we were beginning to have a real voice in the industry. You know, when I started with the business in 1995, we were a very small company and we sold products other people made. Now other people make products for us to sell. And this was the tipping point, was when we went to the company that makes this for us. They had sold a food chopper. It was an adequate food chopper, but it was noisy. There were things that could be improved, and we redesigned it and asked them to make it like this for us. And the rest, as they say, is history. So this is normally retails for 45. It's on sale until the 15th of July for 35. So that's $10 off. So that's like 20% ish. 25, almost 25% off. That's a really good deal. And I will tell you, this is the food chopper, the number one thing. Number one, hands down, every December I get orders for. In fact, I would say year round. It just happens to be especially in December because people are ordering gifts. If I'm going to get an order for just a random thing, come in on my website, it's either going to be the food chopper or the can opener. Those are the two biggies. And so if this is something you think somebody on your Christmas list might be interested in, this is a great time to get it because it's $10 off. I would love to know if anybody has started Christmas shopping. I am proud to say I have, which is very unusual for me. But it's kind of just I've been in the right place at the right time and said, you know what, that would make a great gift, and grabbed it. And I actually did it this afternoon. So anyway, all right. So we're going to use the food chopper to get our onions ready, and then we will get to the air fryer stir fry, or whatever it's called. Air fryer, yeah, that is what it's called. And so, so if you've hopped on expecting to see an air fryer in the background, well, if you were really early, you saw it. But we'll get to that in just a few minutes. This rice that I'm making is actually for my husband because if you've been following me, you know that I'm avoiding carbs, not 100%, but just really being very careful about my daily carb count. And so he will be enjoying the rice. I will be having mine with just extra vegetables, which is fine. I've gotten actually quite used to that. It's interesting if you're doing a high protein, low carb, and I'm not talking about like a keto. This is not really keto. This is just high protein, low carb. It's crazy. Two things. How that I've noticed. One is that how quickly you get used to it, and second is you can still have some rice. You just have to be careful. And again, if you've watched me, listened to me in the last couple months, you've heard me talk about my Chat GPT nutrition plan. And so I love being able to just plug in and say, hey, I made stir fry. I'd like to have a quarter cup of rice with it. How does that look in my daily totals? And it's really all about managing your daily total, which you can do um, just by plugging it in and asking for macros. And then make decisions. Yeah, sometimes it's, my granddaughter's birthday and I want to have a piece of cake. So early in the day, I plug it in and I ask ChatGPT to tell me, how many macros am I going to have in a Wegmans cupcake to give an option. And because I think all birthday cakes should be Wegmans. But anyway, um, so it'll tell me, or I can say, a Pillsbury chocolate cake mix with, frosting or whatever. And it'll break down, it'll tell you what the macros are, how many carbs are going to be in an average serving. So then you decide, is that worth it? Maybe I can have half a piece and keep everything else really low carb for the rest of the day. So it doesn't mean I can't eat anything. I can actually eat anything I want. I just have to decide, is it worth pushing my limit for the day, which I try to keep mine around between 40 and 50 grams of carb a day? Um, is it worth it? That's really what it comes down to. So it's not a matter of I can't eat this or I can't eat that. I can eat rice if I want to. I just would prefer to have some other things today that are a little higher carb and skip the rice. But I might change my mind. I have to go check. I put in all the things for the early part of the day, and I haven't updated anything since, well, really since lunch. So, all right. So let's talk about how to make stovetop rice pilaf, which is basic long grain rice, which I did have out right here. So this is just like, your Uncle Ben's long grain rice, or this is probably Wegmans brand, Walmart brand, whatever, wherever you like to shop. Just long grain rice, but it's that really creamy, yummy rice that you get at the restaurants. And there's a few secrets to making it. They're not difficult, but it's just knowing it that makes all the difference in how it comes out. So I've got about a tablespoon of oil. Um, that I've got in the pan, and I turned the pan on to about medium heat, and we're going to add the onion that I've been chopping, which I was going to chop with a food chopper. Oh my word, I'm so silly. I am just so used to doing it with a knife. Okay, that'll be for my breakfast tomorrow. Let's talk about the food chopper because you can chop this baby. You do want to cut it into chunks, okay? And you can put it in the base, or you can chop it right on the cutting board. If I'm doing a lot of chopping, which is when I break this out, I'll do it right on the cutting board and then just push it off. In fact, let me just show you exactly how that works because I have a cutting board right here. So I always recommend getting the little. So it cracks not because it's not well made. It's cracked because this is really good stress relief after a hard day, right? And so you do this enough time, it just puts a lot of stress on that collar and it can sometimes crack. So, oh, there's so many comments coming up. Hey, Lois, I see you. Hey, Diane. Hi, Rumi. Oh, Lois, you've been watching. I cannot wait to see your comments, friend. Oh my gosh, so funny. So funny. Okay, so this all goes in the dishwasher. This comes off just super easy to clean. Okay, food chopper, and there it is. Lois, I'm going to be laughing until I can actually go and just see exactly what did I say during those 10 minutes that I was. getting ready. Oh my goodness. I definitely did not know that I'd hit start. Okay, so we sauteed the onions. I actually like to get them a little caramelized. So you can see they're a little bit brown. You don't have to do that. I just think it gives a little extra flavor. And now we're going to add our half cup of rice. And it would be helpful if I had a measuring cup. So the ratio is 2 to 1. So we're going to do for every uh, for every portion of rice, you double the liquid. Okay, so I've got a half cup of rice, and we're going to actually let that saute with the onions for just a minute or two. Because again, this is going to give it some flavor. It's going to pick up any additional oil that was in the bottom of the pan from those sauteed onions. Literally just let it go for a minute or two. You don't want to burn it. You don't want to like overly brown it. You just want to saute it up a little bit. And then we're going to add our liquid. And this to me is the magic. So this is homemade chicken broth, chicken stock. You can use homemade, you can use store-bought, doesn't matter. The chicken broth is the secret ingredient to a really good pilaf. So if you don't have chicken broth, you can use chicken base, like better than bouillon. Is another thing I would recommend over. You can use bouillon if that's all you have on hand. Bouillon just tends to be very salty and kind of has a processed flavor to it. So chicken broth is the best. If you have either, store-bought or make your own chicken, better than the bouillon. Making your own is the next best. And then actual bouillon if that's all you have to work with. But either or, we're going to actually pour this in. Okay. We're going to stir it up. And what we want to do is bring it to a boil. So I'm turning the heat up. And this to me is the tricky part because you're going to bring it to a boil. You're going to let it boil for 60 seconds. And then we're going to put the lid on and put it on the simmer burner for 17 minutes. And that's it. That's it. Now, the other way you can do it that I find to be just a little more predictable, excuse me while I grab a lid, is you can actually cook it in the oven, those 17 minutes in the oven. I don't remember the temperature that we used to do it at. I've just gotten so used to doing it on the stove top. But honestly, this time of the year, I'm not turning my oven on unless there's a really good reason. So stovetop is so much better. All right, so it has started boiling. So we're going to set the timer here for a minute. Siri, set a timer for 60 seconds. Maybe. I don't know if it's going to do that. We're just going to watch my timer already have going. And I don't want it to like boil, boil, boil. So I just turned it down a little bit. Let me just pull the camera down so you can see. Okay, so it's just boiling in there, like so. And we're almost there. If you're working on an electric stove top, this might take a little bit longer because you're going to have to wait for it to come to a boil. I've got gas, so it heats up really quickly. Um, Either way, just once it comes to a rolling boil, that's when you start the 60 seconds. We've got about 5 seconds left. Okay, so we're going to take it off the heat here, simply because with this being gas, and maybe even with an electric stovetop, it's hard for me to get to a simmer on that burner. But I do have a simmer burner. How handy is that? So we're going to put it back on the simmer burner, and we're going to set a new timer for 17 minutes. And it should be perfect at that point. So it's just sitting there. You do want it to still be simmering. So just kind of keep an eye on it. That's why I do like these glass lids. Although it's kind of steamed over, I still have to peek a little bit. But covered, simmering, 17 minutes. Don't touch it. Just let it do its thing. And it should come out perfect. So, air fryer stir fry. Let's get this cooking. This recipe is crazy easy, guys. It's so easy, it's almost embarrassing. Although I did forget to get the bowl out, so let me go grab that. This can be done ahead of time. So this is a perfect recipe to prep ahead. If you know you've got a busy day or a busy week and you've got time to prep ahead, this is a good one. And it does go right in the air fryer. So I'm gonna get some of the prep done and then turn the air fryer on because once it says ready. All right, I have no idea when I lost connection there, and I apologize. It is very humid, and when it is humid, our I don't know if it's something about the satellite and the thickness of the air, but our internet and our cell are really unpredictable when it's really humid like this. So I had to laugh. Was it last week I asked somewhere about who was team summer and who was team winter, and there were two of us who were team winter, me and one other colleague Priso. Although I do have another customer who when I found out that they when she retired, they moved to Saratoga Springs, New York, which is up in the Adirondacks. I was like, oh, you are my kind of person. Like Florida is not in my future for you guys unless something dramatically changes with my metabolism. All right, so we cut some peppers into 1 inch chunks. We are going to do the same with this onion. Now it says half of a small red onion. I really love cooked onion. I know that makes me a little different, but well, y'all have known that for a long time anyway. So I would rather just throw it all in. And that is it for vegetables. In the picture, it looks like they've used pineapple, and you could definitely do that if you want, but I'm going to tell you that pineapple is going to spike the carbs. So it just depends on what you like or want. It's the kind of thing too that if you want to throw pineapple in, maybe take your serving out first before you throw it in for the rest of the family. I think it's completely up to you. But I do think there are other vegetables that would work really well in here. So, like if you have it and you want to use it, things like I've got some broccoli in the fridge I thought about tossing in, or snow pods, snow pea pods. Would actually be really yummy in this recipe. You could slice Brussels sprouts, chop them in half and throw them in. So those would be some good lower carb vegetables you can throw in and kind of add to the volume of this without spiking your carb count. All right, it's time for the pork. So just bought this today. The recipe calls for a pound and a half. This is just a pound because I was not paying attention, but we're literally going to just slice this and toss it in with the veggies and some oil. And at this point, I am going to go ahead and start the air fryer preheating. So if you've not seen this beauty before, wow. Here's the thing. So most of you know, if you watched this, that I was like all over the Eastern Seaboard during May and June. And so I actually got to see some other air fryers up close and personal, and just makes me that much more impressed with this one. So the fact that it has two separate sections and you get to decide which one you want to use. And it's just the quality of everything is so much better than anything else I saw. So we are going to use the bottom. We're going to set it to uh, air fry, actually. Whoops. And we want to set the time for 20 minutes so that we just use this dial. And now it's going to preheat. Okay. And while it's preheating, we're going to get the pork ready. And I need to grab my oil because I forgot to grab that. Okay. So again, we're going to just cut the pork into 1 inch chunks, just like the veggies. And there's a lot of ways you can do that. The most important thing is to have a really good sharp knife to do this. And I was watching an old knife video of mine, and if you're not sure how to hold a chef's knife, you don't hold it like this. Okay, that's not the way. You want to put your thumb here. Can you do that? And your finger on the other side. So you've actually got your thumb and forefinger grasping the bottom of that blade, and that is how to safely hold this knife. And yes, I know I have said more than once we're going to do a knife workshop. Things things are settling down. There's not too much of an excuse for me to not get that on the calendar here soon. Um, I will be in Chicago next week, and then our babies from Uganda will be here the last 2 weeks of July. And but then I and then we'll be on vacation the first week of August. So you know what I'm going to do, and you guys can hold me to it. I'm going to set a date for mid-August, and we will do an knife workshop. I'm also excited to say that I think we're going to really be digging into our kitchen remodel uh, by mid fall. Um, and once that is done, I am going to start hosting live cooking classes here at my home in Corning. So if you're local and you can come up, I'm really excited about this and I'd love your thoughts on it. My thinking is that each class will have a very specific theme. There will be a cost to come to the class, but that fee will not only include the lesson, but the products that you're going to use to make it. So, for instance, um, if it were this recipe, I probably won't include the air fryer because no one wants to pay that much for a cooking class, but I would include things like the batter bowl and the scraper and a knife and things like that in the price of the class so that it's a package deal. You know exactly what you're getting. And if you want to attend the class and you already have a batter bowl or you already have a good knife, we can always adjust those products to get you something different that you really want. So that is the concept, hopefully coming early next year. And of course I'll keep you posted as things start to develop. All right, so we have all of our vegetables, our pork in here. We are going to add some oil, tablespoon. I actually have a tablespoon measure right here, so we're going to do it legally for once. Here we go. Got to be impressed. And then we're going to this air fryer has available, it comes with a sheet pan. I'll show you here in a minute, but then it has other pans available to use in it. And maybe you've seen me make my favorite breakfast, which I need to make more of tonight, the uh, egg bites in. So it has mini muffin pan, a not a muffin pan, a brownie pan. It's a mini brownie pan. This is what it is. Yes. So you can get the mini brownie pan. I actually bought a second one because truth is, I earned two of them. I gave one away, started using the other one, and went, oh, I really need two because I'll put one in the top oven, one in the bottom oven, or both in the bottom oven and switch them halfway through. Love these. All right. It has you can get this baking pan. So this would be like for making a cake, or if you were doing something like a chicken and you don't want it running all over the place. So this is like a roasting pan, lasagna, things like that will go in there. Pan we're going to use tonight is just a basic square sheet pan that fits in there. We also have a pizza pan that is in my cupboard. I don't know why I didn't grab it. And it's got holes in it. And we also have this pizza stone that all fit in this oven. So lots of options. The sheet pan that comes with it looks like this, and it's perfectly fine to use. These are just a little higher quality, and uh, I just use them all. I use them all, even the one that comes with. All right, so we have added some oil here. We are simply going to spread this across this pan like so. And as soon as it says add food, we're going to put it in there. Oops, I missed one. So you do want to spread this pretty evenly on the pan so everything cooks evenly. And halfway through, we are supposed to toss it with the sweet and sour. So I'm actually going to turn it into the other pan. Um, Probably just should have planned to use that other pan from the start, but that's okay. Here we are. So it's beeping. Now there, you can open the whole door, okay? Or you can just open the door you need, which is what we're going to do. And we're going to pop this in and we're going to press start. Now, here's what's great about this. I am not doing it tonight, although if I thought about it, I would have. You could bake a batch of brownies up here while this is baking down here. You could roast some potatoes up here while this is cooking down here. And you can even set it so that everything's done at the same time. So if timing is, something that you find challenging, you get the meat done, but the rice is half done, or the potatoes aren't cooked yet, or whatever. This allows you to time it so it all gets done at the same time. Um, which I've only used that part of it a couple times, but it is so helpful. It is so helpful. So I'm going to grab the other two pieces so you can see what else fits in there. And our rice has about 4 minutes, so we're going to see how that looks. I'll be right back. I'm going to get this dirty cutting board out of the way. All right. So this is the pizza pan. So you can just, if you've got a frozen pizza that you want to throw on here and reheat or cook up, um, it's got the grid, so it'll all the heat will go around it. If you're making your pizza from scratch, always recommend stone. So this one, as you can see, is same as that the pan we just put in, but it's all stoneware. It has a lip on the back, which goes to the back because it also we have available a pizza peel that fits in to the air fryer. And it has a handle. It's just the way it fits in my drawer. I don't have it on. But I have actually used this on this. It's super fun. I feel like, I might be able to get a second job at Anelio's, but I don't know how to throw the pizza. I just know how to put it in. The other pan, there's several of our other stones that do fit in the air fryer, anything 12 inches in diameter or smaller. And so our personal pizza pan, pizza stone, fits in here really well also. So, so those are some other options available that go with the air fryer. And let me get this out of the way. So our plan is we have a couple different contacts. We have two different friends who have redone their kitchens and used local Amish contractors, or I shouldn't say contractors, but they build cabinets. So I need to start making those contacts soon. And I'm really excited to have somebody come out here and kind of walk through. I have a basic design plan, but it's, deciding exactly what cabinets we need. And I think I'm going to need one, like maybe two cupboards to slide things into. So all my pizza stones and all my cutting boards and all those things. I need a lot of space for just that. So it'll be interesting to see what we're able to develop. So hold on a second. That humidity is wreaking havoc with me. We are going to get our sauce together here because this is at about 16 minutes. When it hits 10 minutes, it's going to beep, and that's when we're going to add the sauce. So this is a very simple sauce. It is a quarter cup of our chili peach sauce. You guys, this is so good. And but what? You know what? I didn't mean to say but. So it's about three. Am I reading that right? That doesn't seem right. Okay, it's 8 grams of carb per tablespoon, but we're doing a quarter, so it's going to be about a tablespoon per serving. So that is really the big carb count in this recipe. I think I posted the macros, and the carbs total are about 16 per serving, not including rice, and it's all from right here. But it's so worth it. And that's where, again, it's not saying, oh, we can't ever have chili peach sauce. It's saying, how much can I have without ruining, my day without, or not, it's not ruining it, but just, I don't want to tip that 50-gram scale as little as possible. So here's another little tip. So we're going to use 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, or I'm actually using coconut aminos, so it's not soy. Same measuring cup. And if you put the soy sauce in second, it kind of rinses out any peach sauce that's left in there. So there's my little extra cooking tip for the day. Aren't you glad you tuned in for that one? All right, stir that around to kind of catch any peach sauce that's still in there. Scrape that out. And we're going to whisk this together like that. So, and I've managed to drip it everywhere. So while we're waiting, is ready to go. So here is a little tip. My daughter in Virginia, she's genius, if I'm allowed to say that. She uses these serving bowls all the time. Every night she's putting food in them because it keeps it hot for like hours. And, trying to get everything done at the same time, not wanting to have a pot on the table. She her gift, her spiritual gift is definitely hospitality. So with the lid on, this will keep it hot for hours. Seriously. So my rice is ready to go. I can go ahead and put this pot in the dishwasher. We're going to get this pan ready because this is about to beep. We're going to toss the sauce, put it back in the oven for another 10 minutes, and it's going to be ready to eat in about 12 minutes. Um, so what actually I can show you something fun. Sitting right here. See if I have anything fun I can do with it. We have this fun new thing. Oh yes, this is perfect. This is called this is called the frozen drink maker. And it comes with all these recipes. And we're gonna just use so this is we're gonna use this lemonade. This is much like the um cool and serve properties. Been in my fridge or freezer for a couple days. So tip would be to cover it with something because there was like a little those gremlins that run around in your freezer. So you just pour in whatever it is you want to make into a frozen drink. Okay, this is my husband's lemonade. And then you just take the little spoon that comes with it and you keep stirring it until it freezes up. This is a great activity for bored children. And we've actually had a special where you could get all four of them. They might be they might be out of stock right now. They'll be back. And it's just super fun. So it's sort of like a couple summers ago, we came out with, wow, it was more than a couple summers ago, it was before COVID. We came up with the Quixicle maker. And if you have little people or you just like making freezer pops for yourself and you like knowing what's in them, the Quixicle maker, again, same kind of properties. You freeze the whole base, you pour in the whatever it is you want to freeze up, and that will actually freeze into a solid popsicle form. We have the ice cream maker, which is one of my favorites. I need to really look into some good low carb ice cream recipe ideas and maybe later this summer find some things to make. So this does take a few minutes to stir, which is why I think it's a great activity for an 8-year-old because they can't hurt themselves. Wear those oven mitts. I'm going to take this baby out. So one thing I learned about this the other day, which I was really glad to understand, is that it doesn't stop when you take it out like this, but you can add a minute when you put this back in. So here's one of the reasons I love these. See how I'm just using my oven mitt. I just put these through the dishwasher last night. So they're nice and clean and they'll go back to the dishwasher tonight. So they're fine. Doesn't matter if they get a little messy. We've got our sauce here. I'm gonna mix this up a little bit more. Oh, see, I knew that was gonna happen. And my dog's on it. Well, I guess we'll be doing a stain remover on my shirt. All right, we're just gonna drizzle this over the top. Get my scraper again to toss this all together. This is why the girl wears an apron, right? That right there. That was the reason why we wear an apron in this house. So the only thing about that little whisk that drives me crazy is that, and it's the bowl. It's not the whisk's fault. It's really well balanced, and that's why it's the handle is heavy, and it'll flip out of a bowl if the bowl is too small. Not the whisk's fault. All right, we're gonna open this back up. This pan is actually cool because it didn't come out from here. Put that back in. Add 2 minutes because that's how long it actually took me to do that. Come on. There we go. Okay, and it'll be done in 10 minutes. Meanwhile, I'll keep stirring the frosty thing. I'm not going to make you wait for either of these, but I will, of course, post pictures when they're done. This is starting to thicken up. It's hard to see, but you can actually see little chunks are forming. And it's usually done in 5 to 7 minutes, just depending on how cold your freezer is. I put cold lemonade in here, so it should set up pretty quickly. You can add other flavorings of various kinds that I'm sure my husband would appreciate it if I'd thrown in a little, I don't know what goes with lemonade, but there's something out there that does. So I hope you've enjoyed tonight's cooking class. I hope at the very least you now know how to make a good rice pilaf and a super easy stir fry in your air fryer. To me, anything that I can make in the summer that does not require me to turn on the oven and even keep the stovetop cooler is a win. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'll post the recipes, links to all the good stuff here either tonight or tomorrow. I will also post the edited version. Um, sorry, Lois. But I can't wait to watch what went down there when I didn't know I was on. And I'll post the edited version tomorrow to my VIP group. If you are not in my VIP group yet, just go to inthekitchenwithmarybeth.com or click the link that I will put in the comments of this video. All right. Thanks for joining me again. Have a wonderful evening. Stay cool, everybody. I'll see you next Thursday. Bye-bye. Oh, I won't see you next Thursday. I will be I will be in Chicago. So you know what? I will try to hop on live uh, at the right time. But I won't be cooking. But maybe I can just show you around Chicago. That would be super fun. So, all right. Thanks again. Have a good night.